Hey all, Hipper here. So today I'm going to do a quick review on Forza Horizon 5, and it's not my favorite series of racing games because I much prefer something a little bit more realistic than these games here offer. They are graphically impressive, and the whole experience is quite cool. But again, as a driving game, I don't know. I feel like I spent the whole time with the speeder at max and just really doing nothing really. But anyway, I'll go through the game here just to let you know what I think. And the way the game starts out is also a little bit jarring for me because as soon as you load the game in, you get dumped into the world in three pretty high caliber cars. So there's no, like waiting to get into a V8 or a V10 or anything like that. No, it's right off the bat. You get into some pretty cool cars, and also the graphics performance mode. I want to say that before I actually get started. I use the performance mode because it's really hard to actually see any difference, but I much prefer the 60 frames per second here, and that's what I chose for the game. So yeah, Horizon 5 sure is a good looking game, no argument there at all. This frame rate is buttery smooth, and the graphics are just phenomenal, to be honest. Once you have to pick your character, that's when the whole like kind of over the top and forced let's have fun vibe comes in. And they all look like someone who would get bashed in a pub, really. So obviously we pick the one that looks like the worst guy. And again, I just want to buy a car and buy a car I like and get started. But again, you have to pick between three cars that really I have no interest in. So I ended up picking the Supra just to get started and take it out on the road. And again, as I'm used to in Horizon games, it's just about keeping the accelerator all the way down and then following the race line. So I immediately went to the auto show to try and actually buy a car that I would like to drive, which apparently is pretty hard in this game actually. So we go back and find an old 2003 M5 because that's the kind of car I want to drive. And I want an Arctic Silver one. I don't want any one of these weird homemade things here. So that's what we do. Very classic and very, ordinary, nothing special here. So we'll buy that. And obviously you can customize and tune your cars a lot, but really, compared to Forza Motorsport, I don't feel much difference. You can fiddle for hours with your suspension and tires and all kinds of stuff, gearing, whatever, but the end results are never as convincing or as realistic, I think, as they are in Gran Turismo or Forza Motorsport. So one of the more, a little bit more realistic car games. So in the end, I just stopped tuning my car because there's no point to it really, honestly. And why did I pick an old 20-year-old BMW? Well, I'll show you why. This is why. I don't think there's a better car to do donuts in than this particular one here. And that's fun. And that's one of the more interesting things to do in Horizon when you get tired of driving down a straight road. Because compared to like pure rally games like here, there isn't much finesse to the driving, really, I think. And it's a bit of a shame. So, like rally games at least are difficult. If you pick another game like Snow Runner here, where the driving is just more difficult and more you have to think a little bit more about what you do and pick the right gears and stuff. It's not just about like meshing the accelerator and then avoiding oncoming traffic. And of course, some people love that kind of driving, and obviously a lot of people love Horizon. But for me, it's not really the thing. I much prefer something like Snow Runner here. So is Horizon a bad game? Absolutely not. It's one of the best open world racing games there is. It's just not a realistic car game, and that's not what it's supposed to be either. So if you like realistic car games, this is not for you. If you like super arcadey racing with over the top radio hosts and sort of that whole, like forced fun, Ibiza feel, yeah, well, then this is your kind of game. And it's available on Game Pass. You don't actually have to pay for it if you already have Game Pass. So there's really no excuses out there. And of course, I forgot to mention this time, the game takes place in Mexico. And other than some new mountains and a little bit more elevation, there isn't that much new stuff, I think, especially compared to Horizon 3 that took place in Australia. I think it looks, of course, the graphics are much better now, but the environments kind of look the same. I thought the British version 4 was actually a little bit more interesting, I think, with the changing seasons. So anyway, that was Forza Horizon 5 for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you out there.